Thank you very much, Cathaoirleach. Thank you, Minister. Minister, the delivery of the rail line to Navan has been debated now for over 20 years. And since the opening of Phase 1 in 2010 by then Minister Noel Dempsey, there has been a focus over the last 10 years because it obviously has fallen off the agenda for the completion of that line from Dunboyne to Navan, and it has fallen off the development plans and has fallen off the NTA's plans. However, at this very moment in time, there's reason to have great optimism because we have the coming together of the review of the National Development Plan and, critically, the NTA's review of the transport strategy for the Greater Dublin area. And key to that NTA review was the fact that the Navan aspect was now going to be analysed on an evidence-based scenario, which was critically important in the context of it being part of the National Development Plan. Now, I am hopeful that when the NTA review of its projects, which are many, is presented to the Minister, that it's going to be favourable, and subsequently we will see the Minister make sure that it is included in the National Development Plan. But time is key here because the two are becoming aligned right at this moment in time. So what we need, Minister, is a firm financial commitment towards the delivery and expediting of this piece of infrastructure. When I raised this issue with Minister Ryan before in this chamber, he spoke of the need for positive statements by Meath County Council as the lead authority from a planning perspective. And I have to say that the Council's work in this area has been exemplary. From a strategic planning point of view, the work that they have put in to demonstrate the population growth in both the urban centre of Navan and along the route at designated growth centres has been immense. It is the very essence of good planning in terms of creating centralised growth centres along good public transport hubs to allow people easy access to their work in the city centre and for education. Now, Minister, I'm sure you're going to come at me in your response with the need for the Department to respond to decarbonisation, for sustainable mobility of people. And in that respect, the Department of Transport, in terms of the estimates of the cost of aggravated congestion, in July 2017, the Department's Economic and Financial Evaluation Unit published a report that estimated the cost of aggravated congestion across Ireland's transport system and how it's expected to grow without intervention in the coming decades. And its analysis suggested that the cost of time lost to aggravated congestion in the base year of 2012 was nearly £500 million, and it predicts it will rise to £2 billion in 2033. Now, that is happening in Meath right at this moment in time because we're the only area in the Greater Dublin area without rail connectivity into its major capital town. And what has been missing over the past decade has been the political will to make this happen. So when that report lands on Minister Ryan's desk, I am confident that the scoring matrix used by the NTA, which is required to recommend a justification of the line to Navan, is going to stack up because of the critical analysis work done by Meath County Council on that population growth. But the point here today is not just about the analytics, it's about the human side to this, because a significant piece of research was done as well in terms of interviewing people. Behaviour and attitudes were actually engaged to actually do field research with over 3,000 citizens and a further online poll of 8,000 citizens. And the testimony by those people in terms of the detrimental effects of their family lives was harrowing. So, Minister, I hope that you will have a positive statement in the context of making sure that this plan is going to be included in the National Development Plan review. Thank you, Cathaoirleach.
Thank you, Senator Cassells. Minister.
Thank you, Senator, and I can hear the passion in your voice for this particular project. Just to put it into context, first of all, I'm obviously taking this commencement notice on behalf of the Department of Transport. Under the review of the National Development Plan, the Department of Transport is examining its own investment plans in light of the programme for government, so we know that. And we also know that the National Development Plan is based around outcomes. So you're right, I am going to talk about the sustainable mobility of 1 million people in the country. And that's what we're talking about in the National Development Plan, rather than around specific projects. But the Department's submission to the review examines the National Development Plan at a policy level, and it identifies revised strategic priorities rather than entering into discussion of particular projects. So I think that's important to bear, but I will talk about Navan in particular in a moment. Just to say that a new draft National Investment Framework for Transport in Ireland will undertake to pin the department's submission. I think that's important. It has 4 priorities: decarbonisation, protection and renewal, enhanced regional accessibility, and the sustainable mobility of people and goods, as you mentioned, in urban areas. And the issue of a rail connection to Navan is being re-examined, Senator, as part of the NTA's review of the transport strategy for the Greater Dublin area, which, as we know, is a 20-year strategy. And the NTA is required to review and update the strategy every 6 years, and that review is now well underway. You know, Senator, that initial public consultation has already taken place. I'm sure you made a submission in that regard, and the NTA has engaged external expertise to re-examine the feasibility of a Navan Rail line, and this assessment will be an input into the overall review. And the next step then is a second round of public consultation on a draft revised strategy, and that is expected to take place in the autumn, and I'm sure that you can make a submission at that point as well. I've heard what you've said, Senator, and I will obviously pass these on to Eamon Ryan and Hildegard Naughton in relation to an evidence-based scenario and in relation to a score-based metric, and the fact that Navan is the only area without rail connectivity. And the Dublin Transport Authority Act 2008 requires the preparation of a transport strategy for the Greater Dublin area, and the current strategy was published in 2016 and it extends to 2035. And the Act requires the strategy to be reviewed every 6 years, and in line with that statutory framework, the NTA's transport strategy for the Greater Dublin area is currently under review, and the first phase of the consultation on the initial issues paper ended in January. And in late 2020, the NTA appointed technical consultants to develop an assessment study incorporating a comprehensive business case analysis in relation to the potential extension of the existing rail line from M3 Parkway close to Dunboyne to Navan. So the outcome of the assessment is intended to inform an update to the transport strategy for the Greater Dublin area, which is currently in progress. And you also mentioned Senator Meath County Council, and the NTA is working closely, I understand, with Meath County Council to undertake a comprehensive assessment of the benefits of the project, so encapsulating economic, environmental and societal benefits, and in addition a multi-criteria analysis of options in accordance with a common appraisal framework for transport projects and programmes is also due to commence shortly. And then in conclusion, it's expected to conduct, as I said, a second round of public consultation in early autumn, probably September, with a revised strategy ready for approval or publication in mid-2022.
Thank you very much, Minister. Senator Cassells, you have 1 minute to conclude.
Cathaoirleach, firstly, I find it hugely disappointing and disrespectful that the speech provided to the Minister to read out in this chamber is a word-for-word copy and paste job on a PQ earlier this year. It is disrespectful to me, to this House, to this issue, to the people of Meath, because I was very specific in my topical issue in terms of something that is happening this very week. Minister, you noted that no doubt I contributed to the public consultation. I did, Minister. I'm blue in the face contributing to public consultation. I've held meetings with the NTA, with the Irish Rail CEO, who is hugely supportive of this project. The work that you referred to in your speech, which is, you say is underway, is actually complete. It's on the desk of the CEO of the NTA, Anne Graham. This week, it's going before the board for analysis and a decision, and going on the desk of the Minister. So, Minister, I hope that the Department, Minister Ryan and this government now back it, because the days of ignoring the people of Meath and Navan are over. The report is done. It's not underway, it's done, and we need the cheque written for it now. And I hope Minister Ryan hears that call, and I hope that the officials who send in statements of written PQs as a response hear that call. The people of Navan and Meath won't be disrespected. Thank you, Cathaoirleach.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, Senator. And just to satisfy Senator, that actually wasn't a speech that I read out. That was my own summary that I took the pertinent points and summarised it myself. So it wasn't word for word, just to just to say that.
Yeah.
Senator, could you let the Minister
Well,
please?
it's a very separate sheet that I read out compared to the opening statement that I was given from the department. I just wanted to say that at the outset. But it will obviously take the points from the opening statement that I was given. And you'll appreciate that I'm not in the Department of Transport, and I'm doing my best to try and disseminate the information to you as best that I can. I note as well that as a 10-year plan, the NDP was scheduled for review in 2022, and the government has brought forward that review by a year. The NTA, as I said, is working very closely with Meath County Council to undertake a comprehensive assessment for the benefits of the project. And as I said, there's a second round of public consultation in September, and a revised strategy ready for approval by publication in mid-2022. But your comments I will bring back on board to the Department of Transport.